Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is K. The purpose of this video is to install self-managed Kubernetes cluster on your local machine, using Kubeadm, and also we'll be using Vagrant to power your VMs. So the idea is that we want to install one cluster which will manage your two worker nodes. And before we will proceed further, let's quickly look at the benefit of having Kubeadm on your system, over Minikube. As you all know that Kubeadm allows you to set up a more production environment, on your local machine that will allow you to do almost, everything that you can do in a real, world deployment, especially like your production system at work. So, and if you look at Minikube, it's just primarily, designed for a simple single node local testing on your machine, which is less suitable for a complex cluster scenario. As a DevOps engineer, you want to have the actual experience that is needed to to work out there. So another benefit that Kubeadm gives you is that it is very cost effective. You don't need to bother yourself on the charges on cloud environment. For example, like AWS instances. By this time you start choosing T2 medium, then your charges begin to to go up. So before we dive into the main configuration and installation, we will let's look at the prerequisites that we needed to have in place before we get to the goal. So now the first thing you need to have on your system is Visual Studio, the Visual Studio code in your local machine, and you also need to install Git in your local machine. You can download Git and configure it on your PC, but it's a bit a bit logical, but you can watch my video on how to install Git on your PC. Then the third thing you need to have is your Oracle Virtual Bus on your local machine. And you also need to install Vagrant, which I'll provide the link that you will use to download Vagrant and run it on your system. Then the next thing that you need to do is to clone the repository from my GitHub public repo, which is the link I've provided here. And then also we will use the Vagrant to power the VM machines, of course. And then we need we will automate the script. We don't want to just do add coding. We want to automate the script so that it will be much more easier for us to to implement. And as a DevOps engineer, this is what you're expected to do. And then the next thing we'll do is to join the two worker node to the cluster. And lastly, we will check if the cluster is up, and then we'll check if the nodes are successfully joined to the cluster system. So now let me show you the diagram that I've provided here for simplicity. So the GitHub is here, and then we're going to clone from the GitHub using our VS Code. And then the idea is that we want to have the kube master, right? The kube master will contain the control plane, the controller manager, the scheduler, the etc, and the API server. And then we'll have the worker node, which will contain the kubelet, the kubeproxy, and the pod. Especially the pod is where your application will be sitting before the end user will be able to access it. So we'll be able to have that two worker node, and which will be the slave, and then we'll have the master. So let me quickly, for the purpose of those who have not installed Visual Studio on their system, so you can just do Google. You can go to you can go to google.com, and then you can say download Visual VS Code. So if you click here, this is the official site to download the Visual Studio code. If you click here, you will see the different operating systems. So you have to choose the operating system that is suitable to your own system. Then for the Oracle, you can also do google.com. So then you will say download Oracle VirtualBox. So then this is the official site. You can just go in there, and then you choose the operating system that is suitable to your system. Then the next thing we want to also do is the Vagrant. So you have to download, you can do Google, and then you have to download Vagrant. Let me give you the link for the Vagrant. So the link to download the Vagrant is, let me quickly see that. I think I copied that somewhere. So Vagrant is from the Ashcup developer. So, but it will be much more easier for you to just get the link. So this is the link to download the Vagrant on your system. It's also very pretty simple. Just download and then you run it. So pick you have to choose the operating system that is suitable to your PC. And then the next thing you want to do is the Git. You want to also make sure that Git is installed on your system, so you can just do download Git, or you say Git download, and then you download Git on your PC and follow the procedure. But you can watch my video on how to install Git on your system. So once that is being installed, the next thing you have to do is to go into your Visual Studio that you've installed. This is how my own Visual Studio looks, and this is what you will see after you install Visual Studio on your system as well. So the next thing you want to do now is to I like to make it very simple, so you can actually create a folder on your system. So let me delete the folder here, and then you can create a folder on your system, on your desktop, just make it simple and call it Kubeadm. You can call it any name that you like as far as you can remember it. You come to file, and then you will say add folder to workplace. So then you go to your desktop and you select the folder you created and you say add. So because it's the first time that you are doing this, you can just drag this a little bit here. So this is what you have added. Well, for the benefit of those who might be confused about it, so let me remove that directory. So we will add the directory again. You come to add folder to workplace, and then you click on desktop, and then you click on Kubeadm, and then you add it. And now this is your directory. So the next thing that you have to do now is to go to your terminal. You go to your terminal and click new terminal, right? So once you're on your terminal, because it's the first time, you're not going to see a lot of project that you have. So we are on the Kubeadm. But for you to know where you are, you can use this command pwd, which is your present working directory, to know that you are on that folder. Excuse me. So the next thing that we have to do now is to you also need to confirm if you are using if you have Git on your system. Remember, this is the PS. This is showing PS, which is PowerShell. So we are on PowerShell here. So your PowerShell will not be able to perform all the command or execute all the command that you needed. So what you need to do first is let's confirm if we have Vagrant running on our system, and let's confirm if Git is installed. So this is what you will see. If after you install Git on your system, you can do Git -- version. So this will tell you the version of Git that you have on your system. And also to confirm your Vagrant, then you can also do Vagrant -- version, and then that will also give you the version of Vagrant that you have on your system. So I would advise you just come here and then you change to Git, so that all the command you want to use will be much pretty easier for you to to use. And then the next thing we need to do now is we go back to what I explained initially. You will go to the link that I've provided. You copy the link, and then you will come to any of your browser, and then you will pop it in there in the address bar. So you have two options. You can fork this repository. It's a public repository, so you don't have to bother about username and password. So you can fork this repository to your own repository, or you can as well copy the link directly and clone it. So I'll just copy directly and clone. So to clone it, we'll use this command git clone, then we'll paste the directory, in there, and then we will clone it. So now we've cloned the script into our system. So the next thing that we need to do now is to make sure that we are pointing to this directory. Remember, the first directory that we created is the Kubeadm, which is on our desktop. So now we have another folder in the Kubeadm now, which is installed. So what we need to do now is to change directory into the new directory that we've cloned. So it's called install Kubeadm minus or Vagrant. So we enter, then we can do pwd. So this means that we are, you can see that we are now in the same directory. So the next thing that we need to do now is to check if you have installed your Oracle VirtualBox. So this is what you'll see if you have installed your Oracle VirtualBox. So now remember, I said that we need the Vagrant. The Vagrant is going to power our VM. We need 3 operating systems here. So the first one is the cluster, the Kubernetes cluster, and the second one is the kube node 1, and the third one will be the kube node 2. So we will use the Vagrant to power this. So the first thing we want to do is that we will do Vagrant init. Just let's just initialize that. So once that is done, we'll proceed in provisioning those stuff. So Vagrant is already exists in the directory, is fine. So the next thing we want to do now is let's divide the screen, and then for simplicity, we want to see how Vagrant is going to provision the 3 operating system on our local machine. So the next thing we will have to do is to issue this command. So you have to give this command, execute this command, Vagrant up. So we say Vagrant up, and that will provision or as you can see, as soon as we put Vagrant up, then the kube master, if you notice from our diagram, we said that our aim is to install kube master and then install 2 worker nodes on our local machine. So now the kube master is running. We hope that the Vagrant will also provision the 2 other machines. Let's wait to see. All right, so now the kube master is ready, it's up and running. So we're waiting for the worker node 1. Okay, so great. We have the kube node 1. Okay, it's showing like it's up and running. Yeah, it's up and running. So we hope to see the kube node 2. If you do everything right, the way I said, if you install all the prerequisites that I've said, this is how your system to also behave. You should be able to see how the Vagrant is deploying the operating system on your VirtualBox manager. So it should be pretty simple. It shouldn't be much complex for you. You should be able to get through it easily. So this is the first stage of the installation and configuration. Let's wait and see. I just want you to see, I don't want to pause the video. I want you to see live how the Vagrant provisions the Ubuntu operating system. Oh, great. So as you can see, the Vagrant has already provisioned this. So the next thing we need to do now is, let me quickly show you something. Like, it's very important to know how you can work your way around Vagrant. You can do Vagrant help, and that will show you a lot of command that you can use to do things on Vagrant. As you can see, let me scroll up a little bit. Let me come here. Do you see you can use all these command here? Like Vagrant hot is meant to stop the Vagrant machine. So if you want to stop this Vagrant machine, you can use Vagrant hot. If you also want to, maybe you want to do serve, you can start you can see you can start the Vagrant server using this. And if you want to keep it up, I do Vagrant hot. But there are other ways to undo that. You don't need to use Vagrant hot. You can just come here and say stop and put it on save state, right? So once you do that, anytime you want to work on your machine again, you just come to start normal and that will work. You can do that for the 3. Yeah, after you finish working, you can go to stop. You can say stop and save state. So this is the first phase of it. Let me also show you another command that is very important for you to know. If you want to know if your machines are up and running, you can use this command Vagrant status. So the Vagrant status will let you know if your machines are running or not. Let's see what it will bring. You can see that it says Kube Master running, Kube Node 1 and 2 also running. If they are not running, if we put it on a safe state, it will say not running or not ready. So this is how the Vagrant work, and how you can play yourself, your way around it. So let's now get into the second phase of it, where we will be SSH. The next thing we need to do now is to SSH into these VMs. So we need to SSH into the tree, and then we'll run some of the command that will provision the kube master. I mean the kube cluster. The Kubernetes cluster is going to be here, and then the worker node will be provisioned in this environment. So to SSH into the kube master, we can use the command. Let me just clear my screen, and then so you'll be able to see properly. Maybe I'll have to bring this down. We are through with that. So yeah, to SSH into the kube master, we will use Vagrant SSH kube master. So where did I get this name? If you come to your Oracle VirtualBox, you'll see the name of the machine is kube master. So the other name for the worker node are there. So if you do Vagrant SSH kube master, we're expected to SSH into the machine, the first machine. So now we have SSH into the machine. Now you can see we are now in the Vagrant kube master. So for the purpose of simplicity, let's just split the screen, the terminal. So we need to split the terminal. You can go through there, and then you click on split terminal, and you click on git bash, because we want to use git bash. So if you also go there, you can still split. And so now, because we have 3 machines, so let's split. Let me clear my screen here, and then let me also do SSH. Vagrant. We do Vagrant SSH kube node 01. So if you remember, this kube node 01 is here. This is where you see the name, kube node 01. So we want to SSH into that machine as well. We want to be inside that machine. Then you put Vagrant, SSH kube node 1. So you do the same thing here. You say, you do Vagrant SSH kube node 02. Remember, the third one is 02. So you do that, and then you enter. So now we are inside the machine. For this, we can clear, so that now we are also in this machine. We can also clear. So the next thing that we need to do now is to go into the setup master, because this is what we want to do. We want to set up the master first. So we will come down, and these are the prerequisites. These are the things we will do. The Docker will be installed, and then the Kubernetes network, the networking also, the network configuration will also be, set. And a lot of things will be said. I don't want this video to be really too long. So like I said, we need to automate. We don't want to do everything one by one, because that will really take a longer time. So as a DevOps engineer, the best way we can work around this is to automate. So we'll copy these files, the script. You copy the script, and then you come here, you say VI. Remember, if you don't have Vim on your system, you can do, you need to install Vim on your system, but you can just do VI. I believe it's going to work. You can do VI master .sh. So if you do that, then you press I on your system, because we want to insert, and then we paste. If you just do right click, that will paste your file. Then you do escape, and you do column right quit, then you quit. So you enter, and then you have the file in there. So the next thing you want to do now is to give it a permission, because if you check, you will notice that we don't have the full permission to run this file. We want to give it permission. You can see you will only have the RW. So the next thing we want to do now is to give it a permission, and you can use this command to give it a permission to run this file, and that is show mode plus X, and then the name of the file we want to grant permission to. So now we've done that. The next thing we need to do now is to run this file. We can either use bash master.sh, or you can do sh.master.sh. So that will run, that will provision the Kubernetes cluster. So after that, we will provision the the worker node. So I'll pause the video and allow this to finish. Once it's finished, it's going to give us a command, that we will use to also join the worker node to the cluster machine, which is the control plane. So I will pause the video and allow this to run. This is the same thing that will happen on your own system too. So I'm going to pause it and allow this to run. And once it finishes, I will bring up the video. So now our Kubernetes cluster is ready, it's up and running, and then on your own, it will also give you this command. So you have to take note of this command here. So make sure that this command is copied. Just try and copy it. The way I did, I just did Ctrl C after highlighting. Then you can just paste it anywhere that you can get it back from. So this is the command we use. Now, if you notice, there is Kubeadm join and this IP address. You need to copy this IP address. You can leave the port number. You just copy the IP address. You can just do like this. Oh, let me just do Ctrl C. Okay, so I've copied the IP address. So the next thing we need to do now is to also provision this to worker node. Now to do that, you will come to this setup worker node script. So in this script, let me just bring this down a little bit. Let me bring this. I want to bring this down so that you can see properly. So you can copy this, but before you copy this script, please try to go to number 76. So you want to make sure that you change the master IP. So it's on line 76, I believe. So now you're on line 76. In this place, just make sure that you change this IP to what you had from the from your cluster installation. So let me also repeat that. I'll do Ctrl Z. So you come to this line 76 and you change this IP. You remove this and you put the IP address. So now I'm putting the IP address now. So the next thing you want to do now is you go ahead and you copy everything in here. So you copy. So I've copied the whole script now. I just did Ctrl C, and then let me drag this up for better clarity. So you come here, you almost do the same thing you did for the Kube Master. So when you come here, you VI into, let's call it worker node.sh. So we'll do you press I from your screen, and then you paste all the files. So after that, you do escape and you do colon WQ and then you enter. So you have the file ready. We call it worker.sh. So what you need to do now is to give it remember we gave it executable permission. So we have to grant executive permission. So because we want to execute this script. So to do that, you use show mode plus X and then the name of the script, which is worker.sh. So we grant the executable permission. So we granted that. So we need to do that here as well. So with the vi worker.sh. So we enter, you press I on your keyboard, to allow you to insert those files that you copied. So we have that, you do escape, and then you do colon WQ and this, and you enter. Once you enter, we need to grant executable permission, to allow it to run. So you do show mode plus X worker.sh. So we grant the permission now. So the next thing we'll do now is we can use bash worker.sh. We can as well do sh.worker.sh if you want to use bash script to do that. Let's do the same thing here to just install it simultaneously. We can also do worker.sh. So here we use the shell script there. So we'll allow this to install. Once this finish installed, then we will join it to the Kubernetes cluster. So I'll pause the video and then we'll continue after the installation has finished. So now our worker node has been successfully installed, and then we can now join the worker node to the kube master. So what we need to do now is we will need to change this to root user before we'll be able to run that command that we copied initially. You remember this command that we copied after I finished this command? So we need to run it on the worker node to join it. So, but before then, we can use this command, to check our control plane component. Let's do kubectl get po -n kube system. So you can see, so that is that's, you remember when we started, our goals are to make sure that we have the Kubernetes cluster running on our local machine, which will have the etcd, and then it will also have the scheduler, and so those are the things that we have here. You can see the etcd, kube master, the API server, the controller manager, and then the scheduler. So those are the major things that will be, managing the worker node. So let's go ahead and, join the worker node to the Kubernetes cluster now. So also we can also do like kubectl get nodes, just to see. Now we can see that the two nodes have not joined, the two worker node has not joined the kube master. So this is the control plane. So now we will need to get our command. We need to change to root. So let's just change to root using this command -i, sudo -i. So we are in the root command now. So we'll do the same thing here, sudo -i. So we are in the root command too. So we need to run that command. Let me just take that back. Where is it? Where is the command? I can't find. Okay, so I think I save it here. So this is a command. We'll just use this command. So I'll do Control C, and then I will run the command here. So to see the track of this error, let me see again. Let me see the command. Kubeadm, maybe we didn't copy everything. Yeah, let's see if I have copied the command wrongly. So we'll try to put the command back. I think this is the command that I copied when the cluster finished. Let me run that command again and see if that would go. Not found. Okay, let's get the command back from here. So we can use kubeadm token create -print join command. So to join the command, we will use, this is a command here. Why is it different? It is 13. Let me see. It's 13. Maybe something went wrong. So we'll just copy this again. We'll copy it, and then we will run it on the system. All right, so I think something was wrong before. So now so this is the command you can use. If you forget the first, join command that was given to you, you can just use this command, kubeadm token create -print join command. So that will give you back the command that was given to you at the initial stage of the installation. So this has been connected. So we need to do the same thing here. We're in the root, so we will join the node. So this has also joined the cluster. So if we come back here and then we use the kubectl get node. So you see, the first time we run the command, we get only one kube master that is ready. Now we have the kube node 1 and 2 that has already been joined. So if you wait for a while now, the kube node the worker node will be ready. So now we can log out from here, and then we are in our machine. So we can also do the same thing here. we log out. So we are in our machine. And then if I do that again, let's see if it's ready. So one of it is ready. So if I try that again now, okay, the second one will be ready soon. So this is how you can implement this solution. Having to implement our Provision 3 server on your local machine, where you have the cluster and then you have the two worker node, like what you have in it. You can see. So now we have the Cube Master, and then we have uh, the two worker node that is connected to the Kubernetes cluster. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's very insightful. So sorry that the video is long, but it's fine. It's better than having to use a Minikube, which is not efficient, which is not sufficient for you to perform what you are to do in a real life scenario. So thank you for watching this video. And if you have any issue while you are installing, you can drop any comment. You can drop your comment below. I will attend to it, and then I will solve it out together. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.